It's your girl Ro in the building, and I'm here to welcome you to my YouTube. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how to make these candied pineapples using the fruit roll-up technique. Now let's get into the supplies that I'll be using for today's video. So here are the supplies that I'll be using in today's video. I will go over each one in great detail, and I also leave the links for these supplies in the description box below this video, so be sure to check it out. Now let's get started. So here I have some paper towel. You want to get some thick pieces and lay them out. I'm using the Del Monte pineapples, and I'm also going to show you in a later video the difference between the different pineapples that they have out. But this comes 8 in a can, and I'm laying them out. You don't have to necessarily do it this way, but I'm just showing you how much juice you need to drain from these pineapple slices. So as you see here, I pressed another piece of paper towel over the pineapples to remove a lot of the juice. And then I'm just going to take each individual one and pat them as you see here to make sure all the juice is drained from each pineapple. Now, once your pineapples are completely drained from the juice, you want to be careful and make sure they're not broken up in pieces, because you want a whole pineapple. You just want to set them to the side, get you a cookie sheet or a baking pan, and I'm using an 11 by 9 inch. And you want to line it with some parchment paper and then place them into your pan or on your cookie sheet. Now, I'm going to show you two techniques on how to dip your pineapples. And now I'm going to use these skewers. These are 6 inch by 2 inch. That's 6 inch in length and 2 inch in width. You want to insert your skewer carefully, as you see I'm doing here, when it comes to using these particular pineapples. You got to choose a thick end to insert, and you can see here it's showing a little bit, but as long as it's stabilized in this pineapple, you're good to go. And again, this is a better view of me inserting the skewer, and I'm bringing it to the top part of the pineapple. And as you see here, you can still see it, but it's holding and it's stabilized. But once it freezes, it's going to be fine. All right. So just place it into your baking pan or on your cookie sheet. Now you want to freeze your pineapple rings for an hour or 2 hours, just as long as they are completely frozen. Now the technique to these pineapple rings are using these particular fruit roll-ups that you see here. And I'm going to use between 1.5 to 2 fruit roll-ups. And I'm going to use this piece of cutter. You can use any type of cutter. Now these fruit roll-ups, this is a box, a variety box that has 72 in them. Got from Sam's Club, but it also comes with strawberry. But you want to use the tropical tie-dye. All right, now let's get into the recipe. Now in a medium sauce pot, you want to add in 4 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water, and 1 cup of light corn syrup. You want to make sure you mix your ingredients well until they are well incorporated. And with this particular mixture, this is a full recipe, and I'm able to get 16 to 20 pineapple rings, and that is 2.5 cans. Now you want to add your candy thermometer. You want to make sure the tip doesn't touch the bottom of the pot, or it will give off a false reading. Just make sure you clip it to the side and just insert your thermometer right into your mixture. Now I'm using an induction cooktop that I've been using for many years. This is my baby, and on here it's going to read a little differently, and each induction cooktop do cook differently. But if you're making your mixture over your stove, you want to cook on medium high heat. Now on this is 375, and it's going to cook at medium high heat. And you want to make sure you read your thermometer with that red indication strip that you see there. Once the mixture starts heating, it's going to boil a little bit. Then it's going to become clearer and start boiling a little faster, as you see here. But once it starts boiling and it reaches to 250 degrees, then you want to add in your flavor. This is the Tropical Punch by Loran Oils, and I'm going to add in 1 to 2 drops, or you can also add in the full dram, which is this bottle that you see here, to a full recipe. Now, the mixture will start to slow up. Be sure to watch it closely. And once it reaches 300 degrees, you want to remove your thermometer, add it to a cup of water to remove that candy from your thermometer. Now it's time to add your color. I'm using a liquid gel white and a liquid gel lemon yellow. Now I'm adding 5 drops of white to this full recipe. You don't want to add no more than that, or you will seize up your candy mixture and it will become thick. You want to mix this until everything is well incorporated, and then I'm going to use the lemon yellow, and I'm adding in 4 to 5 drops of the yellow. You don't need no more than that. And I'm creating this color to get a lighter yellow. So I added the white first and then added this yellow. Mix this until it's well incorporated. You want to make sure you get that bottom because you're going to get a little white streaks as you see here. But just make sure you mix until it's well incorporated. And you must use a liquid gel food coloring, not an oil food coloring. Now it's time to dip. Using my silicone mat, you can also use parchment paper. You want to remove your pineapple rings from the freezer, and I'm going to show you the 2 dipping techniques. This one I love to use, which is just dipping one side at a time to get a complete coverage. And you want to dip and then place it onto your mat or parchment paper, and it will dry within a few minutes. It doesn't take long for it to dry, as long as you do your mixture or cook your mixture properly. All right. And once that is done, then you just take the other side after it has dried and then dip it, and that will complete that process. And now for the stick, as you see here, the rings are nice and firm, and you don't want to let your pineapple sit out too long to where they start to defrost. Then it will be hard to dip your pineapples with either technique. Now I'm going to sit this right onto my silicone mat. Now what I like to do with the sticks is, soon as I place them onto the surface, I pull out my stick and then clear out that extra candy that is sitting in the center of the ring. Now, if you let the sticks sit in there and then remove them later, I've experienced where the sticks sometimes break off into the pineapple, and you don't want that. And I experienced that, and that's why I like to do the first dipping method, but it's totally up to you. But like I said, I actually got 20 rings dipped with this mixture, and I'm just choosing some pineapples to do a drizzle, and I'm just taking a little bit and going back and forth right over the pineapple. And for those that are looking to perfect this, it takes time, you guys, so have patience and just keep putting in the work to your greatest potential. All right, so once you have did your drizzle, you want to let that dry, and it don't take long to dry. Take off the extra strands that you see here and just remove them from the center and the sides. Clean it up a little bit, and then just place them over to a cleaner surface. So taking the fruit roll up, removing it from its wrapper, I like to stretch it out, and then taking my pizza cutter and cut in the middle, and then cut strips going up. And these are medium to small pieces. Now you can also cut down the fruit roll up, because you see here I cut in the middle, and I could have came down a little bit to completely cover my pineapple ring, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in this video. So make sure you got a good solid ring, All right. And the reason I dip the pineapples in yellow is because the colors from the fruit roll up will show up more vibrant and lighter colors. All right. So like yellow, teal. If you dip them in red, they really don't show up as bright. The fruit roll ups don't show up as bright. So just keep that in mind. But stay with me here because I'm going to show you how I'm stripping these pineapple rings all the way through so you can see how I am placing them. So what I'm doing is taking each strip and wrapping them around the ring, starting in the center of the ring and then going around. And as you're going to see, it's going to come short, and because I'm going to flip the back and show you what I'm talking about. Instead of cutting the fruit roll up in the center, you can come down a little bit to make the strips a little longer so that the back can be completely covered. All right. Now this is one fruit roll up that I'm already, and I'll cut them to medium to small pieces. All right. Because if you cut them too big, it don't look as neat. But cutting them to medium to small. But this is what I'm talking about on the back side. All right. So now I'm taking another fruit roll up. This is my second one. And you see how I'm cutting in the middle? I'm actually making them too short. All right. If you come down just a little bit more of the fruit roll up, it will be a little longer strips to cover the back. And I may show y'all that in another video. Okay. And again, I'm using actually 1.5 of the fruit roll up tropical tie-dye, and this will complete the one pineapple. Now it depends on how you cut these, y'all. So when you get to cutting and you be like, oh, I had to use 3, then that's up to you. I said medium to small. All right, you see these sizes in this video, but as you see on the back, you see how it's not completely covered. That's because I cut them down the middle. All right. But they look beautiful and they neat. And that's what I'm talking about in the back. Y'all see that? Yeah. But these are my favorite. They are delicious. Make sure that they're nice and neat and, the center is clear. And these are some packaging tips. This is a clamshell. You can add 3 to 4 to this particular package. It's totally up to you, whatever it is on your menu. But also with my little parchment paper, I'm going to show you that next coming up on how to keep them from sticking to each other using these circle parchment paper rings. And I just created them by adding some parchment paper to the surface and putting the can on top of the parchment paper and just tracing that around to cut out these parchment paper rings. And that just prevents, while you place them in these packages, it prevents the rings from sticking to the candy. All right. Now this is another tray here that you can use, and you can set these up however you like. I'm just showing you some ideas of placing them with the parchment paper rings to keep them from sticking as you place them in the freezer. All right. After these pineapples are done and you have packaged them, place them in the freezer until you're ready to give to your customer. I will take them out 10 to 15 minutes before you give them to your customer or your client, or even enjoy them. Here is a 2-pound tray. And like I said, you can add as many to this tray as you like, or as many will fit. And I'm adding 3 on one side and then adding some regular pineapples on the other side. And you can even put in some candy grapes on the center. It's totally up to you, but I'm just showing you some ideas of how you can package these, or what package to use when it comes to these pineapples. So I hope you all have enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section below letting me know how you enjoyed this video. And it's your girl Ro about to go, and I'll see you all in the next video.